What day is it, boys?
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. That's right. I'm really excited on this Thursday because we have our team meeting later, 1 o'clock. Gets me excited because there's some good stuff going on in this office. Just going through the slideshow that we do on a monthly basis, watching how it's transformed and grown is a good something to celebrate for me. Like just knowing how many trainings and how many power-ups and masterminds, vendors, things that are willing to come in this office and teach and train is a sign that we're on the right track. And that we're doing some really, really awesome things here in this office. And I hope you guys can agree with that. I know it's a pleasure for me to do what I do here. And it just excites me to see the community getting involved in what we have going. Other agents from other brokerages, you're welcome to come to our trainings. I invite you to, actually. And these power-ups, the 4DX on Mondays, the masterminds on Tuesdays. We had a Facebook training yesterday from a gentleman from the San Luis Obispo Tribune. Great stuff. And then today is the team meeting where we all get to come together and celebrate being a part of this awesome company and celebrating our successes and hopefully learning a little bit along the way. So what I wanted to focus today on was, once again, part of my leadership. Actually, this was a marriage devotional that I was reading today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just getting really exciting on all you. You know, I'm getting old over here, so.
Yeah, you are. Big boy stuff.
It's just, it is, but it was really, really funny when I was reading it because I was like, man, this is leadership. Leadership in your household translates to leadership in the workplace, in the marketplace. So the verse, it was James 1:19, it really resonated with me, was everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. The reason that I'm so fascinated by this is because it's just another slap in the face for how this society doesn't want
For marriage.
and especially there's an attack on marriage right now for sure. Society doesn't want you to have peace. In fact, they're teaching us to do everything that brings us out of it. Isn't that a wild thing? Society doesn't want what's best for you. Let me tell you guys that real quick. Mainstream, anything has an agenda. And it's to take away your peace, your confidence, and your sense of security. And just listening to this verse, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. I read that, and I think that is 100% the opposite of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
The exact opposite. I mean, literally the exact opposite. And it just shows the attack that's going on in this country and around the world as well. But let's just talk about our industry and sales. Not even real estate, just sales and being a relational human being. Beyond even sales, just being a relational human being. How much are we listening to those that are around us? Truly listening and letting them finish what they're saying, our clients, when they're speaking to us, are we letting them finish their thoughts, and then are we affirming them with that's a great question, or I'm glad that you brought that up. Affirming that you're hearing what someone says is already accomplishing what half of the people around you aren't doing. They don't have the ability to listen to a full statement because as soon as they hear something that offends them, or as soon as they hear something that is contrary to what they want the other person to feel, we feel the need to jump in and intercede. Guys, us shutting up is some of the best stuff we could do for our clients. Letting them know that we're hearing what they're saying. Because when we acknowledge that, number one, we take the time to hear what they say, and number two, we actually engage with wherever they're at that particular time, we're building that relationship and that trust more than anything that we can say. So everyone should be quick to listen. What are our clients telling us? Slow to speak. Let your client finish whatever they're saying. You might not even be that interested in it. Give them the decency of listening to them. Just hearing them. Something that not enough people outside of this office are doing, and not just this office and not just real estate. It's across the board, guys. But step number one, letting your client finish. Number two, acknowledging and affirming that they're being heard. Those two steps right there builds trust just about as fast as anything that you could say. Just doing those two simple things. Slow to become angry. This one's big in this industry, guys. Slow to become angry. Let me tell you how this plays out. Or an example, a real life example of what it looks like of being slow to become angry. We've all, and if you haven't yet, you will have clients that come into your life, into your business, and then they will leave, and you have no idea why. You will go to a listing appointment at some point, and you will be up against 1, 2, 3, however many other agents. And you will think that you have the listing, and then you'll get a text that says, hey, we decided to go with someone else. Thank you. How we respond to these things speaks more of our character than if we would have actually got the listing.
Amen.
Guys, this is a golden opportunity for us to truly shine our light. Who we are. Who are we? What do we value? This is when it comes out. Because I can tell you, if you value money, if you value transactions, if you value all the things outside of the client and customer, you won't be able to reply to them with anything but anger. If you value those things more than the client. And I always say, that's the truest test. That's the truest test of character, guys. It's not when things are going good, when you got $1 million in your bank account and you have 100 transactions closed. It doesn't matter. What matters is when you deal with failure and you deal with defeat and you deal with having a buyer leave you and go use someone else, or having a seller decide to list with someone else. How are you responding to these people? Because if you respond with kindness and care, I can guarantee you somewhere along the line, you will get that deal back. And it may not be through them, but it will be through a family member or a friend or someone else. I promise you. In fact, I'd be willing to say that you would come back threefold simply by replying with care. Let me just run this through the example. Someone texts me, hey Blake, thank you for showing me 6 homes and giving me an awesome listing presentation. We've decided to go with another group, another team. How do you respond? How do you respond?
Thank you for the opportunity to sit down with you. And for me, what could I have done yeah.
Booyah.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't care, just how could I have been better?
Yep.
But yeah, you can be like, oh, screw them, they're awful, they're stupid anyway.
Right.
They don't know what they're missing out on, which deep down you can kind of do.
Right,
But-
and you will have to deal with those
But also
comments.
at the
That's
same
normal.
time, you want to know, what did I do, that extra step I didn't take, or, where was it where,
What could I have done differently
Yeah.
to gain your business?
yeah,
By asking that, number one, you show them that you don't only necessarily care about them, because you do, otherwise you wouldn't ask a question, right? You would say, thank you, have a great day. By asking a question in that situation, you show them, number one, you care about them, you're bummed, aren't we? That's being honest, right? But number two, we care enough about our business and our clientele base that we want to ask, how can we get better? How can we, or what could we have done to gain your business? Because if there's a hiccup in that transaction with the agent that they're using, and they don't use the same grace that you gave to them, who do you think they're going to value more? They're going to value you more because they saw how you acted and the character that you presented when things didn't necessarily go the way that you wanted them to. I see this a lot, and I experienced a lot when I would try to price homes too high. And I say that in the sense that when I tried to price homes too high, I recognized, number one, I need to start dropping the price. I need to figure out how I can list these homes better. So then I went into listing presentations or appointments, competitive, and then I would be like, okay, you know what, I'm not listing this home too high. So I go in there and I'm very transparent and I'm honest, and I let them know, hey, you know, I would love to list it at this price, but this is where we need to be if you want to sell it in the next month and get to your next home within 2 to 3 months. I was honest with them, and I lost appointments, or I didn't lose appointments, I lost transactions because of that. But guess what? In 3 months, even if the contract was 6 months, in 3 months, when that client realizes that everything that you told them at the listing presentation is coming true, and that you truly cared enough about them to tell them the truth, instead of trying to get their business, just to have business. Hey Blake, we went ahead and canceled with the other agent. Is there any way you can come by today? Absolutely. What time works for you? It was that easy for me, guys. But I had my pipeline always going, and I always knew that the character I needed to present whether I won or lost. Because your business shouldn't change, guys. And your business is you. So if you're consistent across the board with this, you're going to have bad days, and some days are going to be harder than others to be nice. I'll let you know. It just is the way it is. But if you set a precedent for your business right now, and you promise yourself and your business that no matter what happens, it will not dent or damage the character that I give out to my clients, that I give out to society, to my community. When you decide that for your business, I can tell you, you just leveled up. And you won't get a trophy for it, you won't get a medal for it. The world will tell you you're dumb and stupid for acting like that. But let me tell you, you leveled up. You just did. These are things that I'm passionate about talking about, number one, because it involves you being different than everyone else. It's creating differentiation among you and your business and the rest of the business around you. But more than that, more than anything else, guys, internally, you're creating a peace for yourself that if you don't do these things, you will live in unrest all the time. You will. And if it might not happen for 1 or 2 times, but you start getting in this habit of being ugly to people, of talking down on them, talking bad about them, simply because things didn't work out your way, let me tell you, you're slipping into a victim mentality, and that will trap you and hold you captive a lot longer than that one transaction could or would. It's the disciplines, it's the little things that we do and how we respond that we're shaping our brain chemistry, guys. We're shaping how we're gonna be as adults. We never stop growing up. The people that they think that they don't need to grow up anymore are typically the ones that need to grow up the most. They've stopped being learning based. They've stopped caring enough to grow themselves, and they start blaming everything and everyone around them. Take accountability even when it's not your fault. I would. It's called being meek, and I've talked about that before. Take accountability and just take the fall sometimes, even when it doesn't make sense. Because I would always feel if a client didn't want to use me anymore that I had somehow failed them. They didn't fail me.
Yeah.
They didn't fail me. I failed them. So why am I going to be upset at them? When you take that responsibility off yourself and you start putting on everyone else, you become a victim. And you just lock yourself up in a cage. And tell you guys that. Because we don't recognize how fast our character can change when we start doing activities and we start having these bad attitudes and these corruptive type thoughts come into our head that point the finger at everyone else. Guys, it's a dangerous, dangerous slope to get in for your business because you don't want to be that agent that's been in the business 20 years, miserable. Everyone can't stand them. You can't stand anyone. I see it a lot, guys. I see it a lot. This industry is very hard for that reason. Let me just encourage you. Be kind. Be soft with people. Be compassionate. Be quick to listen. Slow to speak and slow to become angry. We have a lot to be thankful for, right? Just being alive, being here, having the air in our lungs. I mean, shoot, everyone in this room is under 30 years old. We have the rest of our lives in front of us. You're 21 years old, Michael Massey. It's on Facebook Live now, everyone knows it.
Yeah.
But I'm serious, it don't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Some of the best people I know are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, but they've never stopped learning.
Yeah.
They've never recognized or they've always recognized, I don't know everything. I have a lot to learn. What can someone else teach me today? And by having that attitude, I fully believe that there is unlimited growth for you, and you will never stop growing. I don't think we're supposed to stop growing in life. I don't care what your age. There might be mental and physical disabilities and handicaps that come on us, but guys, our mind is the strongest thing that we have in our whole entire body. So why aren't we monitoring the thoughts that we're putting in it and the attitudes that we're exuding out of our mouth and our character? Why don't we focus on that stuff more? I can tell you because the world's made everything else more important than that. That's why we have a mental health issue crisis. Because society has made people believe that they should value things more than their minds, more than other people's hearts, and then some.
Well, to value this more than anything, to value what people say on your phone or on the computer, more than what your parents say or communication or it's the people who we don't even know and have never met who make us feel the most insecure or
isn't that wild?
Or piss us off the most or
it's wild. And that's why asking those simple questions like, hey, how are you doing today to a cashier?
Exactly.
Or you're like,
shoot a smile.
Shoot, or just give them a smile. Hey, I hope you have a great day.
If they have a name tag on,
say their name. Yeah, if they have a name tag, say their name.
Makes their day.
But yeah, just, guys, we are so freaking blessed to be here. We live in the central coast of California. Don't get ugly with people. Don't be ugly with yourself. Love yourself enough to know when you are sliding into a negative conversation or you're sliding into a negative train of thought. Get yourself out of that. Get back on track and let's start loving people again. Might as well gonna shut this down real quick.
Yeah, I'll shut this down.
We have our team meeting today at 1 o'clock. If you're not going to be able to be here in the office, watch it live. It's going to be very exciting. Lots of good stuff going on. So I appreciate you. Have a fantastic Thursday.